California to Canada almost weekly. And so I was like, watching on the plane. And then I kind of stopped after I was done with season 2. It was like, oh, I think there's another season, whatever. Well, then my wife got into it, and she's like, well, we're watching this. We're going to continue to watch it. And now we're all caught up. Game of Thrones. Yeah. I actually had a really nice conversation with David Nutter. You guys know who David Nutter is? So he directed the pilot of Supernatural. He also directed the pilot of Smallville, Arrow, the new one Flash coming out. He also directs a lot of Game of Thrones. So I saw him about a week and a half ago. And he was like, let me know when you're ready. I'll get you on the show. I'm like. If you don't remember, I'm a little busy on that little show that you made us do 10 years ago. Oh, yeah. So, anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I have a question. 10 years, the natural cycle, we all grown up. We were just a kid when we started, and we've grown up. We see you guys for conventions and everything. You've grown up, you all got families, and we are different people now. Definitely, they have their relations, it is growing. But do you think that we will ever in the future actually see Dean having that, maybe he wants a family of his own?
No, I think that he tried. I think that the Lisa storyline, there was that was his attempt at trying to lead the hunter life and have some sense of normalcy. And obviously we all know that failed horribly. And then I think after his time in purgatory, he really just realized that this is his destiny, this is his life, this is what he's, alive to do, or not alive to do. So I think for him at this stage of the game, that's not even a possibility or a thought. He's like, he's got no room for that in his life. Unfortunately, as sad as it is. So, will it ever happen in the future? I don't know. But it's probably not something that he will anticipate having ever. So, sad for him.
Yes.
All right. Hi.
My question is about season 7, the episode Time for the Wedding, the one where Becky is Sam.
Oh, yes.
Yes, she fell into bed, and I was really curious about Dean's reaction when he finds Sam, that we never go to see that. So, I want to know.
When Dean found Sam tied to the bed?
Yes.
Probably, great, this again? Always find you tied to the bed. What is the deal? No, I don't know. I'm sure he would have had some, witty comment about Sam being tied up and him always having to come to the rescue and save his little brother, but we didn't see that, did we? No. So, yeah, that's what I would imagine.
Because I was expecting him to laugh very hard.
I'm sure he would have. Yes, that was a funny episode. I remember that. Thank you. Yeah. Hi.
Hi. In the episode, the dream episode, Dream of Me, when the boy starts trying to save Bobby from the dream world, we see that this biggest fear is becoming a demon. We have a dream Dean with black eyes. What do you think Dean's reaction is going to be when he realizes that his worst fear comes to happen?
Well, unfortunately, we probably won't see the reaction of Dean because he's going to be a demon. So, he won't be able to pop out of that. So until, or if, the real Dean comes back and Demon Dean is gone, then we might see what his thoughts about it are. But yeah, I really like the fact that that was touched on way back then, and now I just have to figure out if I'm going to play it the same way I played it then, now, or if that was, maybe that's just a figment of his imagination of what he thought it would be like, and then I'll play him different. I don't know. I'm on hiatus right now. I'm not thinking about it. I know the writers have just started working on that, but I'm anxious to see what happens and how he is. But I don't know that we're going to see a reaction out of Dean because he's not Dean. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, I have a question about Demon Sam and Demon Dean. We already saw that some lost and pure demons. Do you see this is the possible way to cure demons?
Yeah, I mean, we did see that, so there is a possible way, which might be the way that ultimately Sam saves Dean. I don't know that there's another way that we've introduced on the show. Granted that there might be another way. We might get Crowley to talk, or we might get another demon to talk, or maybe Castiel's got some newfound power with Metatron in his situation, and he can use. I don't know. There's question marks there of what's going to happen, but there's definitely an option on the table. I don't know if it'll work, because then again, you've got Dean is probably going to be a little more powerful than a regular demon with the mark of pain, and so I don't know how that locks the demon in even more or what. But these are all questions that I have as well. So I'd be interested to see how the writers play it out.
One thing is that his body is already dead, so I was wondering what is going to happen.
His body is already dead?
Yeah, Dean is dead, so...
Dean is dead. You heard it here. Good point.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks. Hi.
Since I love comic books and superheroes, I was wondering, have you ever read comic books?
Have I ever read comic books?
Yes.
Yes, I have, but I wasn't a big comic book reader as a kid. But I have seen a bunch, yes.
And if you could choose to be one superhero, who would you choose? Captain America!
That ship has sailed. It's not just because we touched on it in the show and stuff, but I've always been a big Batman fan. Which would be great, because I could just use my regular voice as Bruce Wayne and then my Dean voice as Batman. Thank you, that's very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi.
Great to see you. I love your work. I studied directing in Germany, so I want to know if you have some tips how to deal with all the stress and all the people who want something from you, and how to be professional.
Tips on directing. It really depends on what kind of project you're doing. This would be a good question for Misha too, because he's done a few different types of projects. I've only done the show, directing-wise, so what works for me is I will say that homework is your best friend. If you show up on set and you've got all of your ideas written down, and you've got ideas like your wish list of what you hope to get, your necessary list, things you have to get, and then you can kind of watch the time and see, hey, we're moving really well, we're doing really good today. I'm going to get some stuff off my wish list here because we've got some extra time, but I got to make sure that I get everything I need, because otherwise the editors don't have what they need to tell the story. So it's really got to cover yourself, but you also got to do it in an artistic fashion. Otherwise, you're just, you know, we call it closing it down. So you just like, just posing, just get a camera, just shoot everything. And I actually had a couple of different directors give analogies of what directors are like. And one director, I was sitting with a very, very famous film director. I happened to be at dinner with him, and he was giving me his take on the different kinds of directors. And he said there are two types of directors. There are hunters and there are gatherers. He said gatherers will go out and they will collect. They'll be like, oh look, here's some potatoes, and here's some carrots, and then oh there's a rabbit, and I'll grab the rabbit, and I'll get all this stuff together, and I'll take it back home, and I'll be like, okay, let's see, I've got potatoes, carrots, rabbit. Oh, I'll make a rabbit stew. A hunter goes out and he's like, you know what? I'm going to kill a snow leopard today. He'll go and post up, he'll wait outside that you know, cave or whatever, and he'll see, you know, deer walking by. Nope. He'll see a moose walking by. Nope. He'll see, you know, all different kinds. And it's like, nope, I'm waiting because I know exactly what I want. I'm going to wait until I get it. And, you know, there's few hunters out there that are like, you know, Stanley Kubrick was one.
Would you say it's better?
See, I don't know, but then another director said that he thinks that there's two kinds of directors, and he gave a different analogy. One was there are artists and there are craftsmen, and it's kind of the same thing, but I would fashion myself as more of a craftsman, as opposed to an artist, and I think I understand the technicality of filmmaking. So I'm able to kind of utilize that and make sure that I get all the technical stuff. And I'm looking at it more of like a, you know, like a carpenter looking at something as opposed to a sculptor or a sculptor looking at a piece of marble. You know, it's like there are artistic ways of doing things, and then there's craftsman ways of doing things. I don't think there's anything wrong with either of those. So you just gotta decide what you want to be and go for it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Cool. Thank you. Make sure you tell everybody else that comes up here that. Reminder. What's that? Next season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that Dean is the name, will there be a friendship between Dean and Crowley?
More than already? Yeah, I don't know what to expect with what they're going to do with Dean. Whether or not he and Crowley are going to partner up and go evil on the world, or whether or not Dean will go off and do his own thing. I will say that Crowley will play a big role in next season, obviously. You know, I know just the fact that they signed Mark Shepard to a series contract is probably a good indication that Crowley's going to be around. So